Good evening, hockey fans. Welcome back on in to the neutral zone on Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sport. Lots to get into on the program tonight. It is April. That means the playoffs are very nearly here. A few teams have already clinched, a few teams have already been eliminated, and 5 more teams could punch their ticket to the postseason tonight. Will that get accomplished, or will they have to wait a little longer? We're also getting so close to history. Alexander Ovechkin has already scored once tonight for the Capitals. He is within 4 goals of setting the new NHL all-time record for goals in a career. We'll keep our eyes on that. And what is it like to be a rookie making your debut in the midst of this history? We'll look at that for the Capitals as well. And then in the college game, the Frozen Four for the men was set over the weekend. It was thrilling. It was exciting. It was unexpected. We will look back on the 4 teams remaining and have some comments and thoughts from that weekend of games. All that plus more coming up right here, right now on the Neutral Zone. Let's go. And hello, good evening, good evening, all. Welcome on in to the Neutral Zone. Here I am, Adam Karnick, alongside Zach Puplis. We are glad that you are here with us tonight. Zach, how are you doing? Judging by your name,
right, Adam. How are you?
Judging by your name, I'm seeing there in the field there. Have you recovered from this weekend?
Not quite. I don't think. It was for one of the best seasons ever for MSU hockey. I was a little disappointed with that exit, especially with them having the lead for most of the
game. And then to top it all off, the basketball team then gets eliminated just a day later too. So a rough weekend in Sparty Nation.
Hey, I feel like we overachieved in basketball and in hockey, really. But I don't know. I guess we were thinking big things, both of them. This is only the second time ever that all 4 number 1 seeds have made it to the Final Four in basketball. So, no shame in that, I guess.
Yeah. No, you and I both were sitting there watching the hockey, going, No, they can't lose now. That was the team we had winning it all. They can't get knocked out in the first round. People might start to think we're amateurs or something. We can't have that.
I honestly think there were more upsets in the college. I know, right? I think there was more upsets in the hockey version of March Madness than there was in basketball.
I think you're right. I think you're on to something there. Well, we have got a full show lined up for you here tonight. We will have further reaction and breakdown to the men's Frozen Four. We've got that lined up. We've got that locked in. We know which schools will be heading down to St. Louis next week. So we will discuss that. We've got tons of NHL to get into as well, as the calendar is now April. So we know that there's everybody hears that clock ticking. There's only a little bit of time left. Everybody's got to be making their pushes if they want to make it into the postseason. And then, of course, as everybody is, we are continuing to watch for history with Alexander Ovechkin as he gets closer and closer. So lots to get to on the show here tonight. We're going to start things off with a quick word from our sponsors, and then we will dive right in to the world of the NHL. All that coming up right here, right now on the Neutral Zone. Do not go anywhere. Let's have some fun, everybody. Hi, eSports Radio fans. This show is brought to you by Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single-A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all-brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar, and high in protein. Go to their website at planetjerky.net and follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet.
Rise and shine. It's 4 a.m. The stars are still out. The sun is beneath the horizon, but it's time to punch in and go to work. The comfort of your warm-ups turns into the grinding out of your reps as the clinking and the clanking of the plates create a symphony of euphoria. There's no other feeling like it. Earn it, burn it, and take what's yours. IE Sports Radio has proudly partnered with Vital Apparel, a brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Use our code IESR to get 15% off their comfortable and inspiring gym wear and help them on their amazing journey to support mental health. Go hard, take part in your iron therapy, and be strong. Because when your mental health is as strong as you are, there's no telling how far you'll go.
Hey there, IE Sports Radio fans. Be sure to check out our sponsor, Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or a friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can find them on Instagram at sealthedeal_wax stamps and on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals.
For the last 10 years, IE Sports Radio has been bringing you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, make sure to check out our daily updated website at iesportsradio.com. At iesportsradio.com, you can see our daily show schedule and check out all of our show pages with personal bios to learn a little bit more about each of our awesome hosts. In addition to our show pages, you can catch the iSports Radio blog, Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month page, and our merchandise shop, including t-shirts, tank tops, caps, long sleeves, hoodies, and more. For now over a decade here at IE Sports Radio, we've continued to be by the fans, for the fans, and we thank you all for your support and for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports.
And welcome back on Into the Neutral Zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Adam and Zach back with you here. Want to say thank you once again to each and every one of our sponsors: Planet Jerky, Premium Brisket Beef Jerky, Vital Apparel, Seal the Deal, Wax Seals, and also Raw Nutrition Supplements. Go to getrawnutrition.com, use the promo code IESR, and get 10% off of your order. You heard how to follow along with the station. You could do that on all the social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, at IE Sports Radio. This show is also available for you on social media. We are on Twitter at IESR Neutral Zone. You can follow along with me personally. I am at Adam_Karnick. Zach is at The Pupless. You can follow along with each and every one of us there. So be sure to do that. You can also support the show if you like what we do and enjoy tuning in every week. Hop on over to Spreaker.com. First of all, share the show with people. That is a wonderful way to show your love and support for the show. But you can also go to Spreaker.com/podcast, The Neutral Zone, and you can join the Supporters Club for $5 a month. We will create unique content just for you as a way of saying thank you for supporting this show, supporting the station. We really do appreciate it. Whatever topics you want to talk about within reason. I think, we're not going to be like giving away personal information or anything like that, but whatever hockey stuff you want to talk, we can have some back and forth, and we will create content specifically for you. If you are listening live here tonight across Twitter or TikTok or YouTube, hop into the comments. Let us know that you're here. Taryn Rodriguez is here. Good evening, Adam and Zach. Have an amazing show. We're going to do our best to have some fun. So some of our typical usual banter back and forth, and we'll see what we can come up with. And we always like to start the show. We've got 10 games going on tonight. Zach, get us caught up on some of the scores around the NHL right now.
Yes, sir. We've got Capitals and Bruins all tied up at 2 with 13:54 left to go on the third. We'll, of course, be talking more about that when we get to our OV watch tonight. Panthers and Canadiens up 2-1. The Panthers are, with 13:49 left in the third. Sabres and Senators. Sabres lead that one 3-1 with 12:06 left in the third. Blue Jackets are blowing out the Preds. 8-3. My goodness, with 14:04 left in the third tonight.
That
Lightning lead the Islanders
just
3-1 at the end of 2. My Red Wings and the Blues. Who would have thought with the additions they got in free agency last year? That's just unbelievable.
an all-time bust, an all-time fail there on the part of the Predators. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, you'd think they'd get something out of those two additions, but maybe those two are just reaching into their career, Stamkos and Marchessault. Man. Red Wings and Blues are tied 0-all at 11:38 left to go in the second. Flames and the Utah Hockey Club just started a couple minutes ago. Oh, yeah, 14-10 left to go in the first. They're tied at 0. Still to come tonight, we got Oilers, and Golden Knights at 10.
Oilers, I still like that better than Hockey Club.
Sharks and Ducks at 10, and Jets and Kings at 10:30.
A lot of late games tonight. I was seeing that on the schedule.
Right, yeah.
A lot of
Utah
West
Oilers.
Coast. Yes, the Utah Oilers. We're doing it. We're calling it. We're making it a thing. I don't care that it's too close to the Oilers. It's still better than Hockey Club.
Utah. Right, Utah Snake Oilers.
Ooh, there we go. Oh, that won't ruffle any feathers out there. Ooh, I like it. All right. Well,
I guess at that point, you just call yourself the Utah Venom,
Yeah, I suppose. I think that was one of the names, though, that they realized they couldn't do for some reason. Probably Marvel had something to do with that at this point. So, all right. Well, Zach, keep those scores handy for a moment, because
sure,
we've already had a few teams clinch playoff spots throughout the NHL, but we could have as many as 5 teams clinch tonight, as we're down to 8 or 9 games left for pretty much everybody in the NHL. We've had a few tickets punched already, but 5 more could be punched tonight. But it requires some things. So we'll start in the East.
Like a third of the playoff.
I know this could be a very important, very influential night for the playoff chase, the playoff hunt. So we'll start in the East. The Carolina Hurricanes are off tonight.
Do you want to start with? Okay.
Oh, go ahead, Zach. What was that?
Sorry, do you start with who was already clinched and where we're standing in the playoffs, and then we'll go into scenarios tonight?
Yes, please. That would be terrific. Okay. Yes, set the stage. Remind everybody who has clinched.
Perfect. Okay, so Eastern Conference. Atlantic, you got Toronto leading it with 94, then Tampa Bay with 91, and Florida tied also at 91. Metropolitan, Washington has officially clinched with 103 points. Behind them are Carolina at 94 and New Jersey at 87. So those are who's at your top 3 spots in each division so far. You've got your wild card as well. Wild card, you got Ottawa sitting there with 84 points with the first wild card, and Montreal with the second wild card with 77. Like we talked about last week, we got a lot of teams that are hot on their heels. Got that log jam right behind them. New York Rangers also 77, Columbus 75, Detroit 74, New York Islanders 74, then Pittsburgh and Philadelphia at 71. And oh my gosh, the poor Boston Bruins 69 and Buffalo Sabres 68. That's probably the poorest showing I've seen from Boston in a while.
Well, Boston has just been getting decimated as of late too. I mean, they have only gotten 5 points in their last 10 games, and they've not just been losing, they've been getting killed. They at one point, I think they were getting outscored by 30 goals in a 10-game stretch. They've been brutal. They've dropped their last 5. So yeah, getting a point tonight against Washington would be a massive improvement over what they've been doing. Yeah, Boston is oof. All right, so then let's
that's a far cry from their record-setting year a couple of years ago.
Yes. Oh yeah, they have definitely fallen down then. Yeah. All right, so let's look at the Eastern Conference to look at their playoff spots.
Sorry, for them to even be tying Washington is a big deal tonight.
Yes, yeah. And they were down 2-0 at the end of the first period on that too. So to be climbing back in is big. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So we have 4 teams in the East that can clinch playoff spots tonight. But gonna need a little bit of work, gonna need some help. The Hurricanes, who they are off tonight, they clinch if either Montreal loses to Florida in any fashion, regulation, overtime, shutout, doesn't matter. Shootout, not shutout, shootout, doesn't matter. Or if Columbus loses to Nashville, well, that's not going to happen. We know that one. So if the Canadiens lose to the Panthers tonight, so what was our Montreal, Florida score?
Montreal, Florida. Florida's up 2-1.
And we're in the third at this point, or are they just finishing up the second?
We're in the third with about 10 minutes to go.
All right. So not looking good if you're a Hurricanes fan.
10.5 minutes to go.
Not looking good if you're a Hurricanes fan, but
okay,
it's still possible. The Maple Leafs, they are off tonight. They will clinch a playoff berth if either of these happen. Now, one of them we know is not going to happen. They also were hoping for the Predators to pull off the upset of the Blue Jackets. That's not happening. So the Blue Jackets are saying, no soup for you. No soup. The Maple Leafs were also hoping that the Canadiens would lose to the Panthers. So both the Hurricanes and the Maple Leafs were rooting hard for the Canadiens tonight. Their Canadian brethren are doing them no favors at this point.
Wait, they're wanting the Canadiens to lose to the Panthers?
Yes.
So that could still happen.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. So yes, actually,
I wanted the Canadiens to win.
I'm sorry. I was reading it backwards. So actually, I'm sorry. Wow. Way to read, Adam. Just way to read. No,
oh, no,
the Hurricanes and the Maple Leafs need the Canadiens to lose. So if Florida is winning, they are happy.
There you go. So it's going their way so far. Yep.
There we go. So it's looking good in Carolina and Toronto. They're feeling good. Tampa clinches a playoff berth with a win over the Islanders and the Canadiens losing to the Panthers in regulation. All right, they got that going for them, but they also needed the Blue Jackets to lose to the Predators in regulation. And unless the Predators go on a crazy run here over the next few minutes, that ain't happening.
Yeah. No. Lightning, they are ahead of the Islanders 3-1 at the end of 2. So two of the 3 parts of their parlay are hitting, but I don't think it matters if that third part doesn't hit.
two out of 3. However, you needed all 3. Yes. The parlay analogy is perfect there. The Panthers, meanwhile, that team beating the Canadiens, well, they would clinch a playoff berth with a win, but they also needed the Blue Jackets to lose to the Predators in regulation.
It's funny how everything just hinges on this one game.
Everything was coming down to Blue Jackets Predators. So is this the Blue Jackets hanging out for dear life, or is this the Predators just refusing to cooperate?
Predators are refusing to cooperate, even though despite their best efforts in getting what they thought were superstars in free agency.
Everyone's, come on, Predators, one time. Nope. Yeah. We want no part of this. Get your own playoff seat.
For once, the universe is revolving around Columbus and not in college football.
Exactly. All right. Now let's set the stage over for the Western Conference playoffs. I know we've got a couple seats in the West that have already been clinched. Specifically, that I believe the Central Division already has a couple seats clinched. But set the stage for us with the West.
Yes, sir. A couple seats on the bus already claimed. Western Conference, Central Division. We got Winnipeg with 106 points clinching a spot. They have Dallas clinching a spot as well, 102 points. And currently, Colorado holds on to that third spot with 94 points. They have not clinched yet, however. In the Pacific, no one has clinched yet. But Vegas leads it with 98 points, followed by the Kings with 91 and the Oilers with 89. Sitting in wild card currently, you've got Minnesota Wild, in the wild card. The wild card. Anyways, they got 98 points. Oh, I'm sorry, 88 points. And St. Louis Blues, as you kind of talked about, have been on a tear. They got 87 points. Just outside, you got less of a log jam. They got kind of more gaps between them. Sitting outside, you got Calgary with 82, Vancouver with 81, the Utah Hockey Club with 78, Anaheim with 72, and lastly, unlike the East, again, probably because of that log jam, nobody's been eliminated in the East yet, but because of the gaps in the West, you've got some teams that have been eliminated. Your Chicago Blackhawks, the Nashville Predators, the New Kids on the Block, Seattle, and the San Jose Sharks. Sad Sharks.
sad Sharks. The Ducks are
Sad
still alive.
Sharks do. Sad Sharks do.
Wah, 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 wah. The Ducks are still alive here at this point.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Larry's Ducks are still alive. 72 points.
They're not dead yet. They're hanging on. They're hanging on. Not going to take much though. Tis a yes. Darren chiming in. The Ducks still have a pulse. They still have. He's reminding you that they're his Ducks too.
Yes. Sorry, Darren. Sorry.
They're his Ducks too, and they still have a pulse for now. Right. Though I tell you what, the Duck Hunters lining them up. I'll tell you what.
Ooh, right.
They've got them in the crosshairs there. All right. Sure. So we have one team that could clinch tonight in the West. And it's on the one hand very simple, or it could be really, really complicated. Where would you like me to start? Do we want to start with the easy or the hard?
Let's start with the easy and get to the hard.
Okay, so the team in question is Las Vegas. Our good friend Cale Henderson's Cale Henderson out in Sin City. His Vegas Golden Knights. They can clinch a playoff berth. There's two easy ways. One,
get a win tonight.
They beat Edmonton. They beat Edmonton in any fashion tonight, and they're in. That's one easy way.
Okay.
The other easy way, if the Flames lose to Utah in regulation, then Vegas is in. Those are the easy ways.
Well, they're still tied at 0, looks like. So it could still happen. They got a long way to go. They're still
all right.
8 3/4 in the first.
All right.
Or 8.5 in the first.
Now we get to the complicated.
Okay.
Should Vegas lose to Edmonton in overtime? Okay. All right. So we get to overtime, but Vegas only gets 1 point. Then Vegas needs one of two things to happen. They need Calgary to lose in any fashion. They wouldn't have to be in regulation. Or the Blues lose to the Red Wings in regulation, which I think you were saying the Blues and Wings were tied at 0 halfway through, correct?
Tied 0, yep, with about 5 minutes left in the second still.
All right. Taryn's been very futilely keeping an eye on the Ducks, trying to gain ground. Yes, for about every step forward they take, the ground comes out from under them and they move 3 steps back, is basically what happens with the poor Ducks. It's not their fault. So for Vegas, again, it's really simple. Win. Just win. Right. Just do that. That's really simple. If they don't win, If they don't win, well, then we got to get out the abacus, then we got to get out the rulers, then we got to be looking for hanging chads and all kinds of weirdness. So just win.
And the Oilers are over here, drill, baby, drill. And Vegas is like, win, baby, win.
For the Oilers tonight, are McDavid and Draisaitl back tonight? I think they are. I think they are by this point. I think they've been back long enough at this point.
Because they're suspensions?
Yeah.
Okay, let me look here.
I think they're back.
Golden Knights take win streak into home matchup with the Oilers. Vegas Knights host the Oilers with a 6-game win streak intact. They're fourth in league play. Tuesday is the fourth time these teams meet this season. Oilers won the last meeting 6-3. Leon Draisaitl has 51 goals, 53 assists for the Oilers. Last 10 games, Golden Knights are 7-1-2. Oilers are 5-4-1. No injuries, none listed for the Oilers, so I would assume It doesn't say anything about them being sitting out.
We're gonna go with their back then.
Yeah,
we're gonna go with their back then. That's the easy one.
Yeah.
All right. So we made it through our playoff scenarios. Everybody held on to your hats, and everybody that was hoping that Columbus would lose to the Predators, well, we're sorry. Better luck next year.
Right.
Let's take for ourselves a quick break, and then when we get back, let's talk history, shall we? We are one step closer with Ovechkin Watch. Let's dive into it a little bit, shall we? We'll look at the game tonight, and then I've got a fun story. What would it be like to be a rookie making your debut during the middle of this? We'll talk about that next here on the Neutral Zone. He is Zach. I am Adam. We will both be right back after this.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IU Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What's up, Pittsburgh? This is Ralph DeLeese, the host of the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Are you that passionate, die-hard Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, or just a Pittsburgh sports fan? Then please join me on the Injury Report every Tuesday on IE Sports Radio, the direct feed for all that is sports, and I will update you on all that's black and gold. Have you telling your Pittsburgh fans and friends. What's up with Pittsburgh sports? Tune in Tuesday with me, Ralph Calise, the Injury Report on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's go!
And welcome back into the neutral zone here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Oh, and we're getting an update here, courtesy of the Bold North Breakdown. McDavid is still out, so he will miss tonight's game for the Oilers. However, Draisaitl is absolutely healthy and back. So thank you for that. I genuinely, I could not remember. So thank you. Nice to have people with our backs checking up on things for us. I do appreciate that. So, all right. We know the huge, big story in hockey. Alex Ovechkin Watch. He entered the day 5 goals away from setting the record. He's going to finish the night at no more than 4 away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's record. They're in Boston tonight taking on the Bruins. They got out to a 2-0 lead at the end of one. Ovechkin scored on the power play. It was a beautiful tic-tac-toe and tap into just a wide open empty cage in front. But Zach, I know you had a conundrum and a concern with how Ovechkin might break this record.
So NHL Network Radio posted this one, or they posed this question the other day, and it was, should an empty netter count as either the record tying or the record breaking goal for OV? What are your thoughts?
Should it count? Absolutely, positively, 100%. They count. They are goals. They're absolutely, it should. Would it feel cheap? Would it feel anticlimactic? Oh, absolutely it would. It
100%, yeah.
It would absolutely feel like we all got cheated out of something if one of those 2 historic goals is an empty netter.
Yeah.
But should it count? Right. I mean, oh yeah.
If it counts towards the score on the scoreboard, yeah, it should count towards his stats, you know.
I mean, to this, if you're not going to count that one, I'm looking up how I'm looking up for his career how many empty net goals. So Alex Ovechkin, now this is from USA Today, and I'm looking to see when this story was written. This is a story from, so how out of date is this before I quote the number? Oh, this is just from 2 days ago. He's got 62 empty net goals in his career.
Okay.
So, if you're not going to count that one, well, then you've got to take those other ones off, and then in that point, well, we're nowhere near history, But then you also open up the Pandora's box of, how many does somebody actually have? Then they count.
Well, then, yeah, and if you're taking that sample size, what you said, 60 some out of almost 900, I think we're okay.
Yeah. He's made more than enough one-time slap shots on the power play where he's just literally put a hole in the goalie's glove to make up for the fact that, okay, he's also scored or really for his pace at one point, 1 season's worth of, an entire season of nothing but empty net goals over the course of his career. Because you remember those early days, he was putting up 60 goals in a season. It's just like, damn, boy, slow down, son.
Damn.
Leave some for the rest of us.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the perfect point here, also then from the Bold North breakdown, if you're going to go back and be that picky, well, how many did Gretzky have? And we can answer that question. How many empty netters did? Let's see. Gretzky scored 56. So yeah, you want to get that picky about it. Sure. Then you got to wipe out 56 goals out of Gretzky's numbers. Then if you're going to play that game,
Well, but then, okay, so if you were to compare apples to apples, then, I mean, that's pretty representative, pretty good comparison of both of them, that, only 50 or 60 of their, close to 900 goals are empty netters.
Yeah, that really, I mean, that's very fair and even. Yeah, Ovechkin's had a couple more, but it's not like, Ovechkin's had 100 and Gretzky only had 50. It's not that far off. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I did see an interesting piece that there are goalies that goalies are excited to see this happen. That they are just as excited to see this happen as the rest of us are.
So they're playing worse defense in order to see it happen.
I don't know if any of them necessarily want to be the goalie.
Yeah, no.
No. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to be the one that gives it up, but I did see that goalies by and large are excited. And just checking, because we do have a final from that game. Washington beat Boston in regulation, just the one goal for Ovechkin though. So the night is done. The night is done. He is 4 away from Gretzky at this point.
Okay.
So let's see. They've got 8 games left in the regular season now.
Now that brings up my next question. So the record itself, is it regular season or does it include the playoffs too? So like how many more games, since they have clinched the spot, we know they're going to the playoffs, but how many games does he have left to accomplish this record in, I guess?
Well, we've talked about this a little bit. We've talked about this a little bit before too, that the record I believe is just regular season. I'm triple checking as I say that, but it should just be it should just be regular season.
Okay.
It is just regular season. If you include the playoffs in there, Gretzky's number is over 1,000. Ovechkin is still 44 away from him if you include the postseason. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
When you include the postseason, Gretzky is the only guy in NHL history to score 1,000 goals.
That's crazy.
That is, my gosh, that's all right. Now I'm making myself do math off the top of my head, and that's always dangerous. He scored 122 goals just in the playoffs. Do I have that? Yes, 122 goals just in the playoffs. That is, my goodness. In 208 playoff games, he scored 122 goals.
Damn.
Man. So yeah, it is absolutely regular season only there for Ovechkin. So he's got 8 games if he wants to accomplish it this season. The opponents are the Hurricanes, the Blackhawks, Islanders, Hurricanes again, Blue Jackets twice in a row, Islanders again, and the Penguins. So Hurricanes twice, Islanders twice, Blue Jackets twice, the Blackhawks and the Penguins. Do you think he gets it?
Not even considering who they're playing. I mean, that's 2 goals a game. I think we're back.
No, it's a goal. That's a goal every other game.
Oh, it's a goal every other game. Oh,
yeah, they've got 8 games left. He needs 4.
Oh, I'm sorry, vice versa.
Yeah.
Look at us trying to do math on the fly again.
I know. I know. Well,
okay,
it's dangerous.
So he needs 4 goals. 4 goals. He's got 8 games to do it in. All right. It's going to be close. He's going to make it.
I think so too. I absolutely think so. As much as I want him to have to wait till next season, because that means we get to see Ovechkin next season, I think he does it this year. I like this comment from Glenn as well. For a goalie, this is a great way to make themselves the answer to a trivia question. Absolutely. Yeah. Who was the goalie that gave up Ovechkin's record-setting goal? If you're one of those people that wants to make sure he does it at home, you're kind of hoping for Friday night against the Blackhawks is what you're kind of hoping for, which, I mean, he scored number 800 against the Blackhawks a little while, a couple seasons ago. I think that was, so that would only be fitting. But then they're at Carolina tomorrow night. They host the Blackhawks Friday, but then they are at the Islanders on Sunday. So two out of their next 3 games are on the road. So you're kind of hoping for that game Friday night against the Hawks to kind of be the one. Otherwise, you're talking next week. Thursday is their next home game. They've got they've only got 3 more home games this season. So only 3 more opportunities there for him to do it at home, to set the record at home. But they do kind of line up nicely. It's not like the home games are all boom, 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 and then it's a long stretch of road games. They are kind of back and forth there. So
he could get one in between each one, basically, and then still clinch at home, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, he could. Yeah, if he gets a goal a night each of the next 4 games, he would then do it at home next Thursday night against the Hurricanes. So you're
telling me there's a chance.
I was going to say, we could be a week away from history. We could absolutely be a week away from history being set here. Well, I've got kind of an interesting on the flip side of this.
Sure.
How would you, Zach, feel making your NHL debut right as this is going on?
The time of your life that you would never forget, I'm sure. I mean, A because you made it. You made it to the pinnacle of your sport, and B, you're in such a time where one of the goats is going to pass the other goat, basically.
Exactly. Well, that's what's going on right now for Ryan Leonard of the Washington Capitals. He made his NHL debut tonight for the Capitals. Did he factor into the box score at all? Let's see what young Mr. what young Mr. Leonard did. He got his first NHL shot on goal. He did not have a goal or an assist. He had a plus minus of 1. Actually, I take that back. He did not have a shot on net. He had a shot that missed the net. I apologize there. But no shot on net. 3 hits. He was out there for 20 shifts, a grand total of 14 minutes and 14 seconds on the ice tonight for one young Ryan Leonard. This weekend, he was playing for Boston College in the NCAA tournament. Boston College got eliminated, and Ryan Leonard then signs his entry-level deal with the Washington Capitals and gets a text from one Alex Ovechkin. he read it. He said, I read it in the locker room. All the guys were in there. It was probably 5-10 minutes before I actually signed. They were all like, what? I don't know if you should respond to that. I was like, I kind of have to, but
Right.
it was pretty cool. 20 years old. He finds himself 1 minute he's in college for playing for Boston College, getting ready to prep for what he's hoping is a return to the Frozen Four and potentially a championship run. Then a couple days later, you're eating sushi with Alex Ovechkin and other teammates of the Washington Capitals.
It's the Cale Makar treatment. It's a whirlwind, man. I mean, it's something that you don't experience in the NFL just because of the way the draft is. You got to, we have to wait till next season. But the way the NHL is, I mean, yeah, they can get signed and called up. And be playing college hockey and NHL within the same week. Like
within 48 hours of Boston College being eliminated. Hey, and to make it even better, his first game in Boston.
Oh my gosh. Go
and
figure.
he's from Boston originally.
Oh, I bet he had a huge home cheering section.
Mom, Dad, everybody, come on out. Hey, I've got a hockey game tonight. It's at the Garden.
Oh my God.
I'm sure the only thing that would have made it better for his friends would have been as if he was wearing, the big B on his chest rather than capitals across the sweater, but still.
Yeah. Yeah. Holy crap.
Here's the understatement of the year for you. It's been a dream come true, meeting all the guys and really looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, you don't say.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you don't say. Just going out there for a morning skate and just thinking about being here at BC and then now turn the page and being a pro. It's pretty weird to think about, but it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Is our sport the only sport that would have such an opportunity for them to do that, such a quick turnaround to go college straight to the end, get to the pros?
Yes. Yeah. Baseball. They have a whole thing called rookie ball just for you. Once you go through, you have to climb the ladder.
Yeah.
NFL, of course, you got the whole draft and that whole that whole process and everything you got going on there. Basketball, it doesn't happen because the seasons are happening concurrently there. Their draft is in July, the same time the NHL draft is.
Oh, yeah.
So it's he was a draft pick of the Capitals 2 years ago in 2023.
Right. Yeah.
So he was already, they didn't have to then, do anything other than, hey, it's time to sign your entry-level contract.
Right.
Now, Leonard will not be eligible to play with the Capitals in the playoffs. He was not on the roster. I believe that's the case. Maybe I would believe that's the case. I'll double check, but I am fairly certain he would not be eligible for the playoffs, that he would have had to have signed prior to when he did. Let me just to the Google machine.
Well, because that's what made Cale Makar's run so stunning that first year, because he had just gotten out of the college and the NCAA tournament, and he went right into the pros, right to the Avs, and I think he was part of that playoff run that got him the cup. So that's what made it so remarkable and so memorable in my mind.
And I'm pulling up the hockey operations guideline here. For the playoffs. This is keep going. I'm going to need a minute.
Okay. Well, hey, we talked about last week that Jets and Caps game, that how it might have been a preview of the Stanley Cup final. Well, what a good game. I mean, it wound up being 3-2. They went to overtime. If that's the Cup final, that was a real good preview of it. Ovi got his 889th goal in the game. Like, yeah.
I believe I'm gonna stick with it, and if somebody in the comments wants to tell me otherwise, feel free. But I'm gonna stick with it that Leonard would not be eligible for the would not be eligible to play with the Capitals in the playoffs. That he didn't join the team early enough to be eligible for the playoff roster. You have to be on the major league team by a certain date, and I believe that would be before he would have joined. So
almost like the trade deadline or something. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. You've got to be on there. It can't just be April 1st and then, oh, look, the playoffs are 3 weeks from now and here you go. So you've got to have a little bit more time with the team before that. So he is not eligible. But
side note, so he was in the draft a couple years ago, and he signed with the Caps, where I guess the biggest difference between NFL and college is, okay, when you decide you're done with college in the NFL, you decide you're done with college, you go to the NFL draft, and then you're with the team. But then with hockey, okay, he got drafted by them 2 years ago, but he's still in college now. Like, did him and the organization talk, and the organization, runs them through some tests and stuff, and they decide, oh, hey, you need more seasoning, we're going to send you back to college, and we're going to call you up when we're ready? Like, how does that
happen? It's because remember when in the NHL, when they're getting drafted, these are kids that are 18 years old, 18, 19, 19 year olds. You're not in the NFL. You're talking about drafting 21, 22, 23, heck, sometime 27-year-olds.
Sure.
With hockey, you're drafting teenagers. Sometimes they'll be ready, like Connor Bedard or Connor McDavid. It'll just be, well, what we'd have to do is send you back to the OHL, and we're not going to do that because you've been absolutely crushing that league. You're not going to get any better staying there. So we're just going to bring you to the NHL. But if you're in college, if you completed your freshman year of college, they'll talk with the player and it'll be, hey, do you want to come here? We think we're just fine with you staying in college for a year, for a year or two. That's fine. Sit tight.
Sure.
We're fine with that. Or if you want to turn pro, sure. And we'll put you probably into our minor league system there for a year or two and then bring you up. But as long as they don't sign their entry-level contract, they can keep playing in college. That's
Gotcha. Okay.
that's the difference there, is they just don't sign once they sign their entry-level deal, then they're committed. Then it's okay. You've got to be out of college, because then you're at that point, you are a professional. Then you're no longer eligible by NCAA standards.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever those are these days.
Right. Yeah. The NCAA has standards. All right. And news to me. So,
yeah.
Well, speaking of college, since we got into that a little bit, let's just transition then. Ryan Leonard is only played tonight because Boston College got knocked out of the Frozen Four. We've got our Frozen Four collegiately.
Yep.
I teed myself up right there, and then I didn't have it in front of me, and my phone is fighting me.
I got you. Got
it. Go, Zach, go, because my phone is fighting me.
Okay. We got two blue bloods, and we've got two new bloods. We've got the blue bloods being Denver and Boston U instead of Boston College. Denver is making it for a record. They have a record 10 national titles, and they've been to 19 Final or Frozen Fours. And Boston is going to their third straight season with a Frozen Four. They're 25th overall. The newbies, you got one of your guesses right. I got none of mine right. Woo!
I'll take it.
You picked Penn State, and they have been on an absolute tear, so it only made sense for that tear to continue. This is their first in program history, first Frozen Four in program history, and same for our local boys, Western Michigan. So go Broncos.
Yeah. So very, very unusual. We won't bother predicting the Final Four. The Frozen Four, how we think that's going to go. We'll save that for next week's show. But what were your thoughts on the weekend as a whole?
Seeing how poorly our other predictions went last week.
Well, hey, 1 out of 8, we're fine.
Hey, we gave a disclaimer. We said don't use our advice for any kind of betting, so we're clear.
Exactly. So if you did, that's on you.
Yes. My thoughts on the weekend. Wow. Again, with as strong as MSU and Boston College have been all year, I am very surprised that they got knocked out. And again, like MSU had the lead over Cornell like the entire time, and then blew it in the last period, and it was just right here, right in the heart. But then I looked at the other side of our regional bracket, and I saw that Boston U beat Ohio State, 8-3 or something. And I'm thinking, guys, that's the same Ohio State that we just went to double overtime with. I mean, if you want to use transitive property or whatever, like, we're them. And had we beaten Cornell, I'm sure we would have run into the same. Well, again, they made the Frozen Four out of our region. So had we made the next round, we would have been steamrolled too. So I guess it saved us the embarrassment,
Yeah, save the embarrassment a little bit. I am just what floored me with it was both of the top 2 seeds got knocked out. I am not a betting person. I never have been. I won't, especially after a weekend like that. I would have very solidly, confidently told you that at least one of Boston College or Michigan State is making it. There's no way they're both missing. And they both got knocked out. It is cool to see Western and Penn State then both making it, both first timers. And that could be our championship. I mean, we'll talk more about this next week, but that could be our title game next Saturday night. that could be the title game. Is Western Michigan? When have Western Michigan and Penn State ever met up in anything before?
Right.
You know, the mighty Mac.
Yeah. Well, and that's more proof to what I was saying last week about Penn State. I mean, they've only had a hockey program for like 10 years, and to have come this far in just 10 years is absolutely incredible. Like, I just got to give them, my hat's off to them, like.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it. I think we both have done this enough that neither of us, I think at this point, would be shocked if we wind up with Denver versus Boston U, because, that's
yeah.
Oh, look, it's Duke and it's and it's Kentucky in the Final Four. Wow, what a shock! It's just one of those things that tends to happen in hockey. As we get Denver and Boston.
Midnight does come at a certain point in time, and time does run out on Cinderella.
Yes, it's always very special when the glass slipper fits, but yes, so very often the coach turns back into the pumpkin, very often. So very, very often.
Well, and also looking at the location of it, this year's Frozen Four is in St. Louis, and the last time we won the national title back in 2007, it was also in St. Louis. So there were certain parallels that this season's path was taking. I'm like, oh, come on. And the same thing with basketball. Like, I keep seeing this graphic, and it's like, and we beat this team on the way, and we were on the left side of the bracket, and we had a guy with the last name of Richardson on the team, and we beat so-and-so on the way, and we were number 2 seed. And I'm like, oh, and then yeah, exactly. But I think I was more devastated with the hockey loss.
It was kismet right up until it wasn't anymore.
Right.
In the meantime, they all now all get to start singing "Meet Me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair."
Right. Oh, did you put our font in Western Michigan colors?
I chose Denver, but it is awfully familiar to Western, isn't it? I chose Denver's secondary color to break up the red a little bit, and it does look an awful lot like the Western a little bit. So I'll have to we'll be doing some comparison there later, but no, not very close. Well, that is going to do it for our show here this evening. Big shout out and thank you to each and every one of our sponsors. Planet Jerky, premium brisket beef jerky that's on a whole other planet. Go to planetjerky.net to place your order. Vital Apparel, the brand that not only fits great, but also promotes and donates to mental health research. Go to vitalapparel.com, use the promo code IESR, and get 15% off of your order, and also be helping out with mental health research. That is a terrific cause. As long as you're getting new workout gear, you may as well maximize that workout too. Go to GetRawNutrition.com. Raw nutrition supplements will help you do just that. Go to GetRawNutrition.com. Use the promo code IESR for 10% off of your order with them. We're helping you get you bread for working out, and we're helping to make sure that you are getting the absolute most out of your workout time. Also, thank you to Steal the Deal Wax Steals. Anything you're picking stuff in the mail, may as well personalize it with specialized and put a note for you. You're going to get some tax man. Go to iesportradio.com/Steal the Deal Wax Steals. Place your order there. And of course, this show would not be possible without the support and platform called IE Sports Radio. So thank you to them. Thank you to Larry B, the star and overlord of all things IE Sports Radio, for all the hard work you do behind the scenes. It's not the unnoticed noise that ever appreciated. Thank you to everybody who's hanging out in the chat room with us tonight. Glenn from the Playboy Breakdown, Brian Francione, Karen Rodriguez. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. thank you to the 178 people that watched the show tonight live across YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Also, thank you to everyone who's listening time later in the week on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere we get the podcast. You know, somebody that like hockey or is curious about hockey, send them to this show. We promise we will get them interested. We will get them hooked. We will entertain you, even if we don't always do it the way we plan on it. For IE Sports Radio and the Lucas Zone, he is Zach Compass. I am Adam Carter. We do this thing every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. Until then, we'll speak to you